is One UI 7 for your S24 series and earlier phones? Well, that's a good question, and it still might not be here for a couple of months, which is kind of mind-blowing considering it came out months ago. And this is very uncharacteristic of Samsung, at least the Samsung of the last couple of years. So Samsung's been pretty Johnny on the spot with this for a long time. I mean, last year, the S23, well, not last year, year before last, when Android 14 came out, it was available in October, which was 3 months before the S24 series came out. They got it early. They got it right after Google. It was actually really, really fast. And this isn't like 7, 8 years ago, back in the day when we wouldn't get it until like March. But also you have to look at history and see that the phones used to come out in February or March. So it wasn't necessarily that long of an update, but yeah, they're kind of lagging behind in that department, and no real good reason why, other than yeah, they did a major reworking on One UI 7, but if it's been available already for the S25, I mean, how much harder could it be to put it out for the S24? The hardware's been out for a long time, the phone's been out for a long time, and it's it's kind of frustrating. Why, with these flagship phones that are supported for 7 years, we got the S24 series in January last year, whenever it was announced, and already we're into the middle of February the following year, and it hasn't even gotten its first update. Like, we've got the S24 launched with Android 14, One UI 6, still don't have Android 15. So I think part of it maybe is they've been having some issues. I know there was a fix with the last beta update where they were having some problems with it. And according to some leaks and rumors, there might even be two or three more beta updates all the way into April before we get the official launch, which would be really interesting as well, because by then Android 16 will be close to its stable form on the Google Pixel phones. Google Pixels are already, you can already get Android 16 beta. Android 16 beta, and the Samsung Galaxy S24 and earlier are still on Android 14, which is One UI 6. Now, One UI 7 is nice. I mean, they changed things up a little bit, changed the icons up a little bit, messed with the animations. It feels a lot smoother, and overall, I kind of like the rework they did. They changed up the quick settings menu, and you can swipe from the right for the quick settings and swipe to the left for your notifications. Very iPhone-esque. But for people who are spending a lot of money, I mean, shoot, we paid $1,299 a year ago for the S24 Ultra, and here we are waiting this long. Right? OnePlus, they got it a long time ago. I think even my Sony Xperia 1 Mark 6, Xperia 1 Mark 5, I think those even have Android 15 at this point. So for Samsung to be this late in the game, whether they have a good reason or not, it still doesn't look very good. It's kind of like a shiny black eye that you show up to school and all the other kids, they got, I don't know. I didn't go to public school. I don't know what the analogy is there, but you know where I'm going with this. Like, all the cool kids have it. Samsung should be the cool kid, and they're the ones that don't have it. So, I think part of the other delay, I mean, maybe it's a marketing thing. Maybe because there were so few major upgrades when it came to the S25 series phone this year, that maybe they want to have some exclusive time with the S25 series phones to make them more marketable, because on paper, there's not a whole lot of huge things. I mean, yeah, they changed the design a little bit. We got the rounded corners. We got the flat edges on here now. We got the new ultra wide. We got the Gorilla Glass Armor 2. And there's a couple things there that are pretty neat. And I really like the S25 Ultra. I think it's a good phone. I think the S25 and the S25 Plus are also a good phone. But at the same time, you would expect maybe a little bit more attention to detail and a little bit more catering to your customers and getting them out of product sooner. Now, of course, we don't want to rush product. We never want to rush product. We never want to find ourselves in a position where they're pushing something that's not ready. I just have to sit here and question and scratch my beard and wonder why here we are at this point in time not having it available yet. And again, in years past, 4, 5, 6 years ago, it was much more common to have a later push for these software updates, but I just don't see with the way that Samsung's been on their software update path for the last couple of years. They've basically been like the de facto #1 in my book. They have been more reliable over the last couple of years with getting security patches out. And I'm still on the December patch, if I remember correctly, with my good old S25 Ultra, which, let me double check that, but I believe still on the December update whenever it comes to the security patch for that. So yeah, One UI 7, Android 15. I'm trying to read this. Yeah, December 1 security patch. So we've got Android 15 with the S25 series, but it's got a December patch, and we're in February, and we have no One UI 7 for earlier devices. So I would like Samsung to speed it up a little bit, maybe get out there and get this available to people, because it just seems it's questionably long. Like I'm not going to question the motive, but it's questionably long. Like just sitting there wondering why they're so far behind everyone. I mean, yes, One UI 7 is a redesign, and that's one of the reasons why we were accepting of that, getting the S25 out. But if we're talking about possible delays into April, then that just doesn't make any sense to me at all. I mean, shoot, we'll be a couple of months away from the Pixel 10 release by then, and they'll be getting Android 16, and you've only had Android 15 for a couple of months whenever it comes to the S24, S23, S22 series phones. So I'm going to keep my eye on it. If I get any more updates or I find anything out, I will certainly make a video about it, let you guys know. But yeah, I saw an article about it yesterday, and several other mainstream media outlets were talking about it. I'm like, man, this just is not, it's not a good look. And as far as the optics go, it's kind of frustrating as a consumer, somebody who spends a lot of money on these phones. I mean, I bought my S24 Ultra. Of course, I just traded it in because I got the S25 Ultra, which I really like the S25 Ultra. But that doesn't mean that there aren't other phones in the lineup that you charge a lot of money for that shouldn't be getting more timely updates. I mean, the S24 Ultra, one of the big selling points was the first phone from Samsung, 7 years of operating system updates, 7 years of security patches. And then here we are already, 13 months into the life cycle of the phone, and still sitting around with question marks up in the air wondering where the update's at. So anyway, that's all I really wanted to talk about in this video. I wanted to address that. I had a lot of people keep asking me. My estimation in the original stuff I saw looked like I thought we were going to get around maybe mid-February, third week of February, and that just doesn't seem like it's going to come to fruition at this point, and it could be as late as sometime in April, which I sincerely hope that's not the case. I mean, all the information that I have is based off stuff I read on the internet and I try and get from reputable sources, but it seems like the general consensus is that it might be sometime in April, which, if that's the point, that would be really bad, because OnePlus had it for months, a lot of other companies have had it for months, and here we are still scratching our head and wondering where this stuff is for the S24, S23, S22. I mean, Samsung's got a long lineup with a lot of phones that are supported for a long time. Let's speed it up, offer some more quality service updates there. At least that's my opinion. So that's all I got. If you have any questions, comments, gripes, concerns, complaints, all that stuff, of course, please go to the comment section. I'll do my best to get back with you. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.